It's time for a list, man. I love a good
No,
countdown.
it's time for social media.
Oh, excuse me. Can you tell the lovely
Yeah.
people where they can, see us in other places in case they want to move over?
If you want to, you can come visit us on social media, which is at Fans on Patrol on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And then you can also check us out on YouTube. We have done a Patreon, so check that out. And then go ahead and listen on your favorite listening platform.
Yeah, man, we just put out something fresh, for all that dystopian future stuff. We just did the Road Warrior. Had a ball doing that one, Tiff. I don't know, for some reason, I had a good time doing that.
You really were into, like, how you felt about the color scheme and all sorts of different things were coming out.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that show. So yeah, you can go over to Patreon, pay that $1. It'll give you good luck. And then you can get on in and just like Flan. Now I'm gonna stop rhyming now.
I didn't realize that we were gonna go on a poetry hour.
So my name is Paul, and that's between y'all. My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it. Now let me just. Anyway, right. So man, this is our top 10 black-led or black movies of all time, according to Fans on Patrol. I gotta throw that in there because there's some good movies that's not on my list, so.
Well, there's tons of good movies that aren't on my list. I have I feel like I came to being more of a cinephile late in life.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole bunch of movies that are on like lists. I have lists of films that I want to watch, and only so much time.
It be like that.
That's the sad part. I know.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna start with number 5 and count our way down.
Number 5.
Tiffobot, number 5 on your list.
Number 5 on my list is going to it's gonna be Blade.
Oh.
Yeah. Blade, I like to see. I do think that like. Blade is a movie that I always think when I'm not watching it, no, I won't watch it. And then it comes on and I'm like, guess I'm watching this. Do you know what I mean?
It's like
yeah, it is poof, it's gone.
Right. Right.
I like this movie because it really did have like this no giving a fuck attitude about this particular character. And I think that's kind of what makes some movies work, when you're like, this is the way it is, and we're not going to...
Yeah, you know what? Or... It's kind of creep fanboy, Tiff, like heavy internet fanboy. So maybe,
Yeah. I do think that, because in some movies I feel like there are... they kind of pull the punch a little bit, so that... I'm talking about like superhero movies specifically because we like to see a very clean hero, a very like kind of contained in this. Yeah. This is good. This is bad.
Unless you're DC.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough. We've been coming out into some of that stuff, but I did like that this was like our first. They do say, would some of the things we have seen come without Blade? And I would say a lot of the things that we have seen would not have come without Blade.
I actually credit Blade in saving the genre, man. I mean, they would have tried again, but at that point in time, it was done. Batman and Robin had happened. It was over. I mean, and then all of a sudden, you got this man. I don't know why I did that sound effect. Go
ahead. I just think it's a really good movie. That's also a fun movie.
So much fun.
You have a good time while you're watching it.
Oh, and rewatching it.
And rewatching it. And just really getting into it and writing fan fiction. No, I'm just kidding. I mean,
yeah. So I like that choice. I like that choice a lot. So, man, my number 5. I'm going to take it a little bit serious, but not too serious. I was late to the party, seeing Hidden Figures, and after I saw it, after it was out for about a year or so, I was like, this movie is really, really good. And you took some actresses that, successful actresses, and put them in some roles that I had never seen any of them doing. This was phenomenal, and the story was phenomenal, and it was really well done, and it didn't feel like there was any pandering or overstatements or anything. So I really loved it. So that's my number 5, Tiffobot. Your number 4.
I do also agree that that's a great movie. I didn't put it on my list, not because I don't think that it's belongs on the list. I was really struggling. I did want to put that one on there.
Yeah.
It's a very kind of movie that gets in your brain in a way that you like, that a couple days later you're like, huh, yeah. And I mean, like, not in the, but while you're watching it, you're also like extraordinarily entertained. And I think that that's somehow sometimes how messages get in really easily is because it's beautiful, it's well acted, and the story is very like, it's got like you kind of feel cozy while you're watching it. It's got like that kind of a feel to it, even though there are like, yeah, even though it's about like some really horrible like mistreatment of people, like as far as like credit and denial of credit. But I like that. I think it helps people learn something without like I thought that it was like for something that was really important, and then people who probably wouldn't even think to go see a movie like that saw it.
Yeah, I agree. And that happens a lot with black film. You know, something that come up and people are like, "Whoa," try to teach you a little something too, a little truth being sprinkled in there. So, man, what is your number 4, Tiff?
I was getting so engrossed just thinking about Hidden Figures that I was like, and we're done. My phone had back to mine. So my number 4 is going to be Sorry to Bother You.
Oh,
we watched it last year.
You really liked that movie, right?
I really did. This movie was such a surprise to me because I had wanted to see it. I remember wanting to see it when I had seen trailers for it. And I had just like missed, sometimes if I miss kind of the initial rush of something, like when I hear about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then I miss it. So then when that came up, we should watch it. Lakeith Stanfield is great, outstanding in it.
Lakeith Stanfield is outstanding in everything. God damn, that man is a great actor.
Right. So you put him in there and you're already like, oh, okay, we're like 75% there already. And then you're like Tessa Thompson and you're like 120% there already. And then the movie itself is also really strange, but also very interesting and making a great message. And it's really like when you watch it, you feel bizarre.
Yeah, and it is. I would agree with you.
I think that the kind of movies that make you feel like, okay, this is out of the experience of normal experience. And so like it's telling stories of people who are displaced. And I feel like if you can like also evoke that, just kind of like a weird liminal emotionality, that's a really great, strong film. Okay. It's also just uncomfortable. I do not like the horse thing. I think we all agree. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. If you haven't seen it, brace yourself.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy the movie as much as you did.
I know.
To that show, and we talked about it, but I cannot deny the acting. That's for sure. Yeah. So
I mean, of course, Armie Hammer's in there ruining it for everybody.
Number 4 for me is another Lakeith Stanfield movie. Well, he's a star. Yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah, man. Such a dope movie, man. Just a dope movie. And you're talking about the gambit of actors just destroying it. You know what I'm saying? The movie was really good. The only weakness is something that you brought up that actually made a lot of sense. It was some of the caricature of some of the like the white villains was a little too, mustache twirly at points, and I had rewatched it and was like, yeah, they could have did a little better job with some of this, but I guess the movie wasn't about those people. It was about Fred Hammond and the other folks and this betrayal, and woo, what a betrayal! Great movie though. Go ahead.
I don't remember that, but I mean, I think that movie.
You don't remember
I'm sure that like my mustache twirly does sound exactly like something I would say.
Yeah, that's for sure.
if I could watch Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya just acting, they could just be improv acting in a room together. I just could watch that all day. I think it's so They're both so powerful in their performances. And in this movie, I just thought it feels kind of like a very tight film where like there isn't a lot of give to like what's going to happen. I mean, it's true stuff. It's not like exact
Yeah.
biography, but um to know and just feel like that pressure
Yeah. Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
film. It's very like a rock.
Yeah. 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 Very,
I almost
very.
put that on my list.
What? You almost put what? Like a rock?
No, I
Oh, this
almost put
movie.
Judas and the
Oh.
Messiah. Yeah, sorry.
So that's Lakeith Stansfield. He's sorry to bother you. He's twice on this list, and Judas.
I think the problem is that I already know he's going to be on the list again.
Oh shit!
He's on, not as like a main character.
It may
by
not be
any
for that
means.
crummy cowboy movie, but let's move on.
Whoa!
So,
If it was on my list,
that
just
movie
don't
was
think you
good.
can say anything about that.
But he was the best thing about that cowboy movie, though. But anyway, you're number 3, Tiffobot.
My number 3 is The Equalizer.
Oh, how we have to put Denzel Washington on our list.
Okay, I will say that when I was originally, when you're working your list and you're maybe not this one, maybe this one.
Yeah, I love The Equalizer.
There was a lot of Denzel Washington on my list, and then I changed some stuff, and I left The Equalizer on here, even though it's not necessarily his best film. It's a great film in my opinion.
It's a great film,
I'm just
though.
saying
It's a great
that,
film.
like, yeah. So the first time I watched this movie, I was like, I'm not gonna like this movie. I kind of remember thinking that I wasn't gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then the second that the first, but it has like, even from the beginning, you kind of, because you don't know that it's gonna be a badass kick-ass film right away.
Yeah, but
as far as like his ass kicking, but it starts off even good. It just starts off good. It's good.
It's
That's
a weird
the
thing
most
because
word diarrhea.
it's based off that old TV show with the old white man who
Yes.
had no action scene. No action scenes. All he used to do was pull out a gun and be like, "That's enough out of you." That was about it for the action that you got at the old Equalizer. And all of a sudden, you had this guy just twisting people up like a pretzel and doing his thing. Yeah, great movie, man.
He does a great job in this movie of
Yeah.
portraying somebody who is like emotionally, obviously, because he's like cares about things, like very emotionally soft in a lot of ways, but like just this even keeled kind of guy. He sees like, it's kind of like
the most boringest man in the world, Tiffobot. I mean, if he wasn't beaten,
he's just
you'd be like, "Oh my God, Robert McCall."
but you would just be like watching. Even I think I might be able to watch him just do his quiet life, because there was that kind of like
Put this
sadness
shit
in
together.
it. That like, yeah, that I'm like, yeah, I can feel the sadness. That's what I'm saying. Like from the beginning of the movie, you're kind of engrossed in what this man is doing, and then all of a sudden, you realize he has this actually very rich inner life. As far as like, I mean, he already had all these things that happened to him, but you're like, the first time that I saw him in that room, I think that my soul transcended to heaven. Yeah, and I was like, I think this is maybe where I'm supposed to be for the rest of my life. Is just watching this on repeat.
Oh my goodness! Great cast though. You had David Harbour in there. You had Bill Pullman in there. Martin.
This is a lot of people. Chloe. Grace Moritz. Tiny Chloe Grace Moritz.
Yeah, who? Really, she's going to be in the third one. They're doing a third one, and this movie also has a black director, Antoine Fuqua. Fuqua. Okay, so that's number 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my number 3. We watched this pretty much around the same time as we watched the Judas and the Black Messiah, and I was very impressed with One Night in Miami. I love this movie, man. Had a whole bunch of guys in it. Somebody was supposed to be Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X. They had all these legends that was, had this fictional night. Jim Brown, Sam Cooke were all supposed to be friends, which I believe they were, but I don't think this night in Miami actually happened. It was after Ali won his fight. And it was, it was one of those movies where they spend the most of the time in one room, and
sure.
it was just great, man. It was just great. Everybody just, impressed me so much, especially the guy, what's his name? Kingsley Ben Adair. He played Malcolm X. He was a real super duper standout, and it was just good, man. It was I could see it being like a play, and it might even be based on a play, but if it was a play, I would be like, oh, absolutely, this is a play. Directed by Regina King. So check that out. It's awesome. If you haven't seen it, check it out, man. So that brings us into our number 2 territory. So what do you have for number 2, Tiff?
Okay. So for my number 2, I'm going to say Nope.
We don't need to ask why.
Yeah,
you got to go to fan.
What?
You got to go to fan last week.
Yeah, I love Nope. I think it's just a great kind of achievement. It's moved kind of beyond, like it just does what he really wants to do, and then also people like it, which I always think is a great kind of meeting. There.
Well, when people like it.
well, like when you can I don't think that something has to be liked by people to be good art, but I think it's really fun when something that you've created that is solely kind of like of your dream and what you want to do the most also is something that people really like. Is very fun.
The only thing I got negative really to say about this movie is still not a fan of the title after all this time. Just not. I think it was one scene he saw the thing and was like, nope. And he went in the house, and they named it. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. But I did think the movie was really, really good, man. I definitely enjoyed it. So, all right. What's your favorite scene in that movie, Tiff? Do you remember?
I think my favorite scene in the movie might be when the horse comes crashing down through the roof of just that he's like driving back. Well, I also liked when he's riding the horse and all of the things are falling down.
Oh,
the little men that like there's just a lot that's just like very like subtly creepy, but also like slightly panic inducing.
Yeah. So my number 2, I'm not gonna get too deep into the weeds, but it is Blade. Ha ha ha!
You didn't tell me. You didn't say.
Because it's my number 2. I jumped to the beginning of my list.
So we have changed the ways that we do lists because we used to be like, that's mine, and then we'd go. But Montego likes to keep it a secret now.
Yes.
Tell it's time to reveal it.
Yes. But Blade for all the stuff that you said and the stuff that I said. So
if rewind it back, that's where it is.
So you're number 2, Tiff. Oh no, you did your number 2, right?
My
you're
number
1. Number 1.
So this movie is, I think, on here as my number 1 because The Tragedy of Macbeth, which we watched.
I forgot all about that
movie. It's just absolutely insane as far as like just a movie in and of itself. It's beautiful. It's shot in a like this way that it like makes it look like a painting.
Yes.
Like I mean, as far as like how you feel about art, and then on top of it with Denzel Washington.
Yes.
Who is? I can't even express how I feel about how I felt when I watched him act that part. Like it touched me in a way that was like different than any other Shakespeare plays I'd seen and stuff. I think just the way that he speaks in the role is so a lot of like understanding Shakespeare, because we don't exactly speak Middle English anymore and we don't have access, or I mean Elizabethan English. We don't speak that kind of way. There's a lot of things that made sense to people, even if back then they were also sort of jokey or rhymey or like reconstructed in a way. Yeah. It'd be like if you went to go see a play today, you'd be like, even if they were talking in a specific strange way, as long as it was within our timeline, we'd understand it. This actor takes that old language and makes me understand it without me having to have like a Shakespeare for Dummies guide or something like that, because it's a lot about how you express emotion. You can understand a lot about how something is being said, even if you don't understand the language or what it actually is being said, just by body language and emotion. And I was blown away by it.
Yeah, I was too, and I'm so glad it came out in 2001. So we didn't have to. It would have messed up our golden fan. It would have pushed some stuff out the way.
You're glad it's 2021. I think we talked about it on 2021's list.
Yeah, it's just good. It's
You were
good.
like having a heart attack because you're like, yeah, I would have that would have made it.
Yeah.
But I agree. Actually, it would have made it. It would have changed a lot of things for me.
It would have changed the whole game. You'd been like, God damn, I gotta throw this on drama, all kind of stuff. So
I can still feel the way it makes me feel. That's how crazy that movie is.
Yeah, I can see you getting feels over there, Tifflebot. So my number one, my number one is best black movie of all time, and it got to go on here right at number one, The Black Panther.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if that was going to make your list, because that was what I considered putting on my list for sure.
Oh yeah, never before in Black history did you have people who don't even watch superhero movies coming dancing out of the theater and showing a race of folks how regal they can be and how good they can be and how much better they can be. It really affected the black community big time. So much so that you got people saying the second movie was good. And I don't think so.
Lord, don't do it.
But the first one, more of that, Tiffobot. That's more of that. All the performances hitting on all the cylinders. The only thing, and I will criticize this movie, the only thing I didn't like to this day was the CGI fight at the end. I wish they could have just did some Bucky and Cap, Winter Soldier, Russo brothers, razzle dazzle, like in like the Winter Soldier movie, because best fight scenes I've ever seen on film, in my opinion, comes out of Winter Soldier. It's just some sweet stuff, and it's raw and it's real. I don't like the stretchy person and the super hoppies and all that goofy stuff. I don't like it, But other than that, I give it a pass, because of the rest of the movie was so good and so well acted. And what can else you say about the Black? Hey, I got a chance to talk about the Black Panther on this podcast again. From this list.
I'm sure you'll have another chance.
Yeah.
I think that movie is one of the movies where every character you meet, you're like, I could just keep watching about this person. Because they're all so very interesting, and I like a movie that isn't afraid to have. I sometimes feel like when you watch a movie that, like popular culture movies, I would say more so that you like a popcorn movie that they don't give a fuck. The background character is usually just there to move whatever along or to just be so that you're in a Starbucks. And then there's movies where they're like, no, every single person who you meet in life has their own rich background story, that if you took their life and you made it a supercut, you would be just as fascinated by it, right? It's just that this happens to be. And so they show that. And then you're like, but can you, like I would watch a whole M'Baku movie.
Yeah, or a Kia, or even a Everett Ross, Martin Freeman's character. I love his character. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's just so many, booms. You're right.
All good?
Yeah. Oh man, and Andy Serkis was a gas in that damn movie. I loved him running around acting a damn fool like he was. I made it rain. Hey, you like this dude is off the chain, dude. Oh my goodness, so good. I said off the chain. That's an old saying. I might just stop saying it. I never even said it.
Listen, I'm hearing you and thinking it's probably fine, but that also may be an indication of how old I am.
Oh, that's fine.
I think that's fine. Actually, have you heard that kids don't understand why we say hang up the phone?
Oh, I can imagine.
Because they don't hang up a phone.
Yeah, interesting. Damn, life has changed. Technology.
Ooh,
anyway, man. So that's our list, man. Hey, we came, we threw it down on the ground, we hammered it. Bam! Those are our choices. If you don't like it, I love to know your choices, but people never. Yeah,
I would actually love to. Yeah, it is kind of hard to ask people to interact, but if you do want to let us know your choices, I
would love to know.
Please come to our social media. I like to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah. Even if you just comment on in the bottom of the YouTube thing, throw a comment in.
I've seen some in there. My little sister made a comment in there. Thank you, Caitlin.
My mom and my grandmama. I'm just playing.
Hey, if my sister's gonna listen, that makes me happy.
Hey, Tiff sister. Man, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come right back because it's time for some Price of Tomatoes, y'all. We'll be right back.
time.